here's Brody Brazil.
Well, I think it's safe to say the next week is going to be huge for the potential of an Arizona Coyotes 2.0 hockey franchise in the NHL. Now, there's a couple things that have already happened. There's something that's about to happen within the next week. And then there are some things farther down the line that even if everything goes well in the immediate future, there might be some complications down the road. So the point of this video is to spell out maybe there's trouble already in trying to revive this inactive hockey franchise. Their owner, Alex Meruelo, he holds all the keys to bringing them back or not. Will we see Coyotes 2.0 or not within the next 5 years? Time is definitely ticking. Let's first take a look at the big picture, like where everything stands right now. The Utah Hockey Club, the former Desert Dogs, that is officially official. We've got the preseason schedule, the transaction, the sale, that's all gone through. All the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. Ryan and Ashley Smith, they now own that team. They'll play at the Delta Center. They have the temporary name, their temporary jerseys. They're all set. So the Coyotes, they're not coming back in terms of that iteration of the team. Right now, the clock is ticking on that 5-year window for Alex Meruelo and the ownership group to produce a venue in the Phoenix metro area. If they can do that, the NHL is guaranteeing them an expansion team through that expansion draft process. Right now, the Coyotes are technically part of the NHL. They're considered an inactive franchise. I know, that's confusing. It's not common, but that is what it is. And so the fate of the Coyotes 2.0, it pretty much right now rests entirely in the hands of owner Alex Meruelo. He's got to get a venue going. He's got to get the wheels moving. He's on a bit of a time crunch. I know 5 years sounds like ample time. And they might give the team a little bit of an extension if they can see the right progress being made at 4 years and 3 months or whatever. They'll give them the benefit of the doubt. The NHL will. But as I said, time is ticking on Mr. Meruelo to get a building for that team to come active again. The Coyotes staff, their hockey operations, everybody was recently terminated. Now, on one hand, like that's not a surprise. The team doesn't exist anymore. The writing was on the wall. What else were you supposed to expect? I mean, in some ideal world, you maybe keep the bare structure of the franchise to help you through this process of getting a new arena and building your business and keeping sponsors, but that's kind of a pipe dream here in 2024. You'd have to think that most employees, in this case, almost all the employees, are instantly gone. Now, there was some understanding that they would stick around for a while. I mean, the sale of the Coyotes only went through in April. They were in there for May. They're here through June. And then in July, they're going to get one extra paycheck and healthcare through July, and that's it. Now, I'll pause for a second and just rewind to remember that Alex Meruelo, the team owner, he just sold the team. He doesn't have possession of the team, but he now has possession of more than $1 billion from selling the team. The NHL wrote him a check for that $1 billion plus amount for selling the team. So in terms of liquid assets and the ability to take care of some people for just a little bit longer, give them a proper severance, I'm going to assume that there was a possibility to some degree to do that. But the severance was this: one extra paycheck beyond the non-working session, one extra paycheck, and healthcare taken care of through the month of July. Now, even bad businesses and companies and sports teams out there, they generally adhere to something courteous like, for every year you've been with the organization, you get a month of severance, of pay. And so if you've been around for 12 years, you get 12 months of pay and healthcare during that span. Like a dedicated employee deserves kind of an honorable discharge, so to speak. And so a lot of people feel like that severance was not appropriate, all things considered. And speaking of considering, look at the optics here. And look at what the Coyotes are hoping to do. They're not leaving the area. They're still hoping to be part of this community. And they really didn't take care of people on this unfortunate way out. They also need to work with local businesses and politicians and local government to get things done. So it's not terminating the staff that's maybe the bad look. It's the way it was done it was kind of cutting them off so quickly and suddenly. The severance could have been a lot more generous to dedicated employees. So that's kind of in the past. That recently happened. In the next handful of days, on June 27th, the state of Arizona is going to do that land auction, and the Meruelo family and the former Coyotes, I say former, current Coyotes and active Coyotes, they're going to be a bidder for this 100-acre site. Now, Richard Rodier has in the bio of social media, former consultant to the NHLPA and the National Basketball Players Association on business, economic, and financial issues. Richard does have some background with Arizona and the NHL and the Coyotes franchise. Richard put this on Twitter the other day. Sources say the June 27th land auction in Phoenix already has 4 bidders registered, including Meruelo. That means there will be at least 3 bidders against Meruelo, and maybe more, as there is still plenty of time for others to register. He said that, almost 10 days ago as I record this video on June 11th. Should be interesting. Now, it was understood that the Meruelo family and the Coyotes group, they're the ones that asked the state of Arizona to put this specific plot of land up for auction, but it's a public auction, meaning that other people can jump in and make a bid. And it was always kind of in the back of my mind that if anybody else even complicated this matter, that was not good for the Coyotes' chances to get this land to, by the way, build their new arena and complex on this land north of the Loop 101, right next to Scottsdale and kind of on the outskirts of North Phoenix. Also, this about the June 27th auction, Meruelo is expected to be one of several bidders eyeing the land, and that comes from a land department source via ABC 15 and abc15.com. So it's not just Richard saying that, it's the media quoting a source from the land department. So there's going to be multiple bidders for this land and this opportunity. I don't think that bodes well, that type of competition. To even participate in the auction, according to ABC 15, according to Mark Winkleman, former Arizona State Land Commissioner, prospective buyers have to put down 20% of the minimum price, which in this case is almost $14 million. I think it was about $68, $70 million where the bidding would start for these 100 acres. So you do the math, and $14 million instantly has to go to a down payment. The highest bidder will have 2 years to pay off the land in full. And if I remember correctly in this process, it's not only about winning the bid financially and producing the highest bid, you also have to produce the best bid. Like, what are you going to do with this land? What type of public service is it going to bring if you are the winning bidder? There's an image, the renderings that came out right before all this Coyotes drama went down, and they were asked to sell the team to the NHL, who then sold it to the Smith Group in Utah and Salt Lake City. Like, the Coyotes came out with all their plans. They showed their cards for this 100-acre site. But Alex Meruelo said during that whole process, quote, "We're going to fund this 100% on our own when it comes to the land, purchasing the land, when it comes to the building, when it comes to the infrastructure. All that comes on my nickel, my money." Again, that's Alex Meruelo, Coyotes owner. So if he wins the bid, everything else comes via his money. Except, see the title up there, theme park status? Alex Meruelo wants the 100-acre project site to be considered as a theme park district by either the city of Phoenix or the state of Arizona. Why would he do that? I don't see roller coasters. I don't see a carousel. Why does it need to be a theme park district? Well, because, according to ABC 15, these special taxing districts are exempt from state and local income and property taxes. And they can charge patrons a sales tax, which is revenue that can be used to help pay for the development of the property. So it turns out not all of it is going to be on the Meruelo dime. This theme park status would totally change the narrative of who's actually paying for this project. But you kind of put all that together, right? So you've got the way that employees were terminated. You've got the fact that the land auction is not just the Coyotes as the only bidder. I mean, they brought this to the state's attention, and now other people heard about it. They're jumping in on it. They're going to make this more competitive. And I don't just mean financially. What if somebody has a more attractive idea of what they want to do with this land, and the state of Arizona goes a different direction. And then last but not least, even if the Coyotes do win this land auction, which is going to take place in a matter of less than a week now by the time you're watching this, it still doesn't guarantee the team the ability to move forward and do this all on their own money. They are still going to be asking for theme park status, like you just understood there, to get their income taxes exempt or have an exemption on that, to have property tax exemption, and to also be able to capture sales tax on the site to help pay for the project. Yeah, it's not looking great right now for Coyotes 2.0. And I don't say that with any pride or pleasure. I promised those of you on this channel that I would keep on this story, keep updating you on the situation. I'll have some special guests down from Arizona, or I should say joining me down from Arizona, likely on this channel in the near future to talk in more detail about this. So I'm rooting for the Desert Dogs and all their fans, but I don't really have a good instinct about the way things are going right now. You made it here to the end of this video. You know I really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. That'll greatly help me and this video and this channel. And if you've never seen me before, it's actually great. I'm glad you found me. I'd love to get you back here next time. The best way to do that is to go down there and hit that subscribe button so we can definitely keep in touch down the road.